Welcome back, everybody, to League on Lock. Eric and Mark here. It wasn't just SKT stealing the announcements out of the LCK. We were wondering, why did KT let go of Ucal? We knew someone would pick him up, and it turns out it's the Afreeca Freaks. They only have 2 players to their name that are fully signed for the upcoming year, and it's a pretty good start in Kiin and Ucal, youthful players, and those are some fantastic building blocks for them.
Yeah, if I'm trying to build a team to try and win the LCK, I'm starting with those 2 guys pretty much right now with Kiin and Ucal. That has to be what you would think would be the future superstars here in the LCK. Ucal showing us enough promise on his time with KT Rolster to take over from the likes of Pawn, and we've seen him actually step up and be the win condition, be the guy to make that play for KT Rolster to win the game. We've seen it with the likes of 5-man Galio taunts from him, a huge signing for the Afreeca Freaks to get him, and even better that he's been talking with Kiin, and that is a large reason why he joined the Afreeca Freaks. I think those 2 there, that is a strong duo to start off with, and oh man, I think that they can add in something special, maybe something like a Prey Gorilla bot lane here. Ooh, could be a nice and spicy challenge to that SKT super team we've already seen.
Yeah, I mean, I think other teams are going to be seeing that lineup and say, okay, that's pretty good. How can we match that? You know, Griffin is staying the same. They're going to compete with them. And yeah, if Afreeca can get a solid bottom lane in there, it almost doesn't matter who their jungler is at that point because they have such strong laners across the board. So definitely a time to be excited if you're an Afreeca Freaks fan. And I'm still shocked that Ucal didn't stay on KT. It must have been his idea because there's no way KT Rolster would let him go.
It would be a monumental mistake if they let him go there in any type of situation there because, hey, Afreeca Freaks picking him up, that is a massive boon for them.
So excited to watch Afreeca in 2019. And Cloud9, after they lost Jensen, Ucal is actually signed with Afreeca. Cloud9 are still searching for theirs, but it seems like they may have found them again. We're going to the Twitter sphere for this one because Jack and Reaperd both followed this young man on Twitter. We're talking about Nisqy from Splice, and Nisqy followed Cloud9 recently. There was an ESPN article, again, from Jacob Wolf saying that they're in negotiations to buy out Nisqy's contract from Splice and bring him back over to North America, where he played in 2017 on Envy and looked pretty solid. Then he went over to EU. He had some decent games in Splice, but immediately people's reaction are going to say this is a downgrade from Jensen.
Yeah, and I think that that's a fair assessment given what you've seen and been proven from Jensen during his time with Cloud9. But I think you can't forget here that the 2017 performances that we had seen from Nisqy were up to the level of the top-level mid laners that we have here in North America, outdueling the likes of Bjergsen on TSM, things like that, where were important to see from Nisqy on Envy at the time to get those wins and victories there. And I think that when he went over to the EU and everyone was thinking, hey, you're gonna find success on Splice, you're gonna be this guy getting them kills, and it just never really happened except for maybe once or twice, a couple games here, specifically, of course, this LeBlanc game. But I think that he can provide the skill level that you want to see, that a threat level on those assassin champions that someone like Jensen could have brought and did bring to Cloud9 at times. So I don't see this as a full downgrade, but again, I can understand Cloud9 fans being a little disappointed given the move.
If you look at regular season Nisqy, then you'll definitely be underwhelmed by it. But if you look at his playoff runs in both splits, he really turned it up when the competition got even more difficult and really stepped up and was really the main carry on that Splice squad during those playoff runs, him alongside Kabe. But he looked really great in those playoff runs, so I don't think get too upset if you're a Cloud9 fan. Don't panic if this rumor does come true, which it kind of seems like it will be, because Twitter hasn't lied to us yet, Mark. So you got to trust
that. Twitter doesn't seem to lie too often, and I got to say, even if this is the move, and even if you are disappointed at getting Nisqy, you have to look at it this way and understand that the likes of having Nisqy and a Golden Glue as your mid laners there does really lead me to believe that Cloud9 are going to implement once again this type of mid-jungle type of duo synergy system once again here and try to find that 7-man roster success as well, and I think that that type of duo could work well for Cloud9.
Yeah, and you have the Golden Glue Sven Garen again. Blabber comes in with Nisqy. It'll be interesting to see that either way. Real quick, also, Rogue, one of the newest squads in the LEC, have already got a couple of signings. Their first signing was Heq coming into the bot lane. Not a huge surprise considering Fly, the former manager of Roccat, came over and is now the manager for Rogue, so he's got experience with Heq. And they brought in Kikis from Vitality. Vitality fresh off re-signing Jack Troll and Cabo Shard, so they're looking for a new jungler for 2019.
Yeah, and hey, that's an important role for Vitality to fill in there because we all know that Kikis came in and was such a massive difference for them in getting them to where they were at Worlds and even making that chance to try and push out of their group stage there. And so definitely going to be a massive job for them to replace Kikis.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll be looking all over the place. Maybe Gilius comes back and wants his old gig back. You know, now Kikis can't steal it from him. I hope Gilius was not applying for that job with Rogue.
I hope not, and I doubt that he would be taking the Vitality job there. But hey, it would be nice to see the god Gilius have a role here in the upcoming season, and if not for anything other than entertainment value.
Still a ton of question marks in the LEC right now, but we'll bring them all to you later. But that's all the time today. Eric and Mark, thank you guys for watching. See you next time.